Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. My name is Jack and this is your latest Manchester United news, and we've got a big show for you tonight in relation to Jadon Sancho, as you can see in the title. Big interest coming out of Italy for him again. Juventus have returned and are very interested in him. Can we get a deal done to get Jadon Sancho moved on in the next 7 days? We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Ugarte as well. Been left out of the PSG squad again. It's pretty clear that he's done and dusted at PSG. And it looks like he's going to be coming to Manchester United, so we'll talk about that. We've got updates on Scott McTominay as well. Supposedly, he's really pushing for a move away from Manchester United. We've got a new number 6 signed before Ugarte even comes in. He's a young kid, Sekou Kone. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. We've got updates as well, guys, on another academy graduate or academy player to be sold by Manchester United. Some people giving out about the price, but again, Manchester United are putting on this sell-on clause, a big sell-on clause and a big, percentage of the next sale being included. So, look, lots to talk about, guys. Please do smash a like on the video. Do hit subscribe if you are new to the channel. As always, we're on the road to 12,000 subscribers. We've got a live poll running in the chat as well. Will Jadon Sancho leave Manchester United this summer? Will he be sold? We've got 81% so far saying yes. I like the optimism. But yeah, get your thoughts into the comment section as well, guys. This is Friday night. Let's get your opinions. Let's hear what you guys have to say. You have enough of listening to me the majority of the time. So yeah, get your comments in as always, guys. But we are going to start, of course, with Jadon Sancho. Juventus in talks with Manchester United to sign Sancho. And this is coming from the Athletic, rock solid source, it has to be said. We know how reliable the Athletic are. They're saying today that Juventus have opened talks with Manchester United over a potential move for Jadon Sancho as the summer transfer window heads into the final week. As reported by The Athletic, it reveals the Italian club have stepped up communications with their English counterparts over Sancho's availability as they want to sign 2 wingers before the August deadline. The corroborates a report relayed by the People's Person this morning of Juventus' interest in signing the 24-year-old. One target of the old lady is Nico Gonzalez, Fiorentina's Argentina winger, who is reportedly close to sealing a permanent switch. Juventus are still deciding on a second target, and the Athletic contends with Sancho a prime candidate. So look, you all know my thoughts on Jadon Sancho. I think we will eventually get rid of him, I think. And I think we're talking about, offloading a player who doesn't want to be there as well. He is, other reports are saying today that Jadon Sancho is looking to leave Manchester United. He no longer wants to be here either. We've been talking about him being left out of the Manchester United squad for the opening game of the season against Fulham. We've heard it was an ear infection. Ten Hag was asked in his interview yesterday as well, what is the update on Jadon Sancho? Will he be available? Ten Hag said he pretty much is going to be available, but it doesn't mean he's going to be selected. Everybody has to, bide their time and so on and so forth. So very subtly, Erik Ten Hag is saying Jadon Sancho is pretty much not in his plans. And Fabrizio Romano has been speaking about the matter today as well. I don't know why it's taking so long for everything to load. He says, more on Jadon Sancho. As reported in recent days, it's 100% open with an exit considered concrete possibility in the final 7 days. Manchester United received an approach from Juventus, as reported yesterday. Direct contact with Sancho open to leaving as well. I think it's probably going to be best for all parties. And I think all parties are kind of in the same boat here. They all want to part ways. They all want, Sancho wants out. I think United want to get rid of him. We go back to what we've been saying before. Is it going to be a permanent move? Because by the looks of things and the majority of the reports coming out about especially Italian clubs being linked with Sancho over the summer is that a loan deal is what they want. Now, again, we spoke about loan deals already when it comes to Sancho. He had one already with Borussia Dortmund. There was no obligation to buy. It was an option to buy. Now, United have their price set. I think they said around 40 million. I think we would probably take about 30 now at this stage, if I'm being honest. But Borussia Dortmund, nonetheless, couldn't afford the asking price for Jadon Sancho, which meant he comes back to Manchester United. Now, if we're going to be looking at another loan option for Jadon Sancho, the obligation to buy has to be included in it. Because what's going to happen is, if we're going, by, history alone, Jadon Sancho will go, he'll do very little, and the club that he goes to will just send him back to his next summer, and his contract will be 1 year less, and his price will drop. So I think it's in everyone's interest, Sancho's interest, Manchester United's interest specifically, to get him gone permanently, or at least with a loan with an obligation to buy. I think for Jadon Sancho's sake as well, I think getting a permanent move away is probably what would benefit him most as well, because he's gone into a new environment. He knows, he's got to improve, he's got to impress, and you would hope he puts his head down and works hard. But look, I think we need to cut ties with him and take a bit of a spanking on it, because we got our pants pulled down with Jadon Sancho. Albeit at the time he was, one of the best young wingers in the world. It never really worked out at Manchester United, did it? And it's a big shame. It's a big shame. But there's been plenty of them over the last few years. Let's see what you guys think here as well. Chris is in. Ben is in. Chris is saying taking notes for the watch along. So anybody wondering, guys, about tomorrow's watch along, I'm unfortunately not going to be able to do it. But Chris has kindly volunteered to step in and do the watch along tomorrow on the channel. So make sure you put all the love in the chat for Chris tomorrow. He'll be live. I think it's 7:30 a.m. where he is. He's going to be up doing the watch along for us. So make sure you join and get involved. Chris is don't panic too much now, Chris. You know what I mean? You'll be all right. Just, make sure you don't get me banned from YouTube or anything like that. Daryl says, thinks Sancho has to go. He's bitching and looking to leave because he's been left out of the team. Dylan says, not a hope Sancho leaves this summer. We won't be able to get rid of him with his crazy wages. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if that's going to be the case, Dylan, because I think Sancho has probably come to the conclusion that his career at Manchester United is pretty much over. Now, he does want to leave. Now, if he wants to leave, he's not going to get the same kind of wages elsewhere that he's getting at United. So I think maybe he's come to the conclusion that that he won't get the same kind of money elsewhere. Danny says, let's get Sancho gone and off the books and invest the money into rebuilding the squad. He's a bad professional with a bad negative attitude. We don't need players like this at the club. So there we go. And Dylan says again, Sancho ain't got it no more. Yeah, look, I mean, he's a prime example of potential not, realising and not fulfilling his potential, I suppose, is the best way of saying it. But it's a shame. It is a shame, and that kind of there's been a bit of a stigma and maybe a curse on that right wing. The last few years, obviously with Sancho, with Mason Greenwood and all that happened there. Going back, we had Antonio Valencia playing on the right wing, Ashley Young playing on the right wing. So yeah, it's been an area that hasn't been properly filled since, since who was the last right winger we had? I don't really know. Someone can tell me in the chat. We had Di Maria as well, for example. A lot of players that come in and played on that right wing just haven't lived up to expectation. Let's see. Vincent is in from South Africa. Good to see you, Vincent. Thanks for joining again. Regular viewer of the channel. Rocky says, Eric Bailly and Cambuala starting for Villarreal as a centre-back pairing. Good luck to their careers. Absolutely, 100%. Cambuala especially, hope he does really, really well. Another player that we moved on for relatively small money, but we've got a pretty decent sell-on fee. And I think we've got a buyback option in his deal as well. Reese is in as well. Good to see you. Dylan says he could have easily reached his potential if he worked hard, not being a fool. Just play hard and he would have done it. we see what he could have done. Great for Dortmund. Last great right winger was Greenwood. Yeah, he was, but I mean, having a right winger that's been in place for a long time and has really shored up that, Mason Greenwood was with us for 2 seasons max. And then all of that stuff happened. Reese says, I'm hoping we get Here We Go by 8 or so tomorrow night on Ugarte. It would be even better if we won the game tomorrow morning. And Vincent says, he needs to go and perform elsewhere, bring his value up. United won't miss him for sure. Absolutely, absolutely. Make sure you're smashing a like on the video, guys, if you haven't done so already. The poll, we'll end the poll. 88% think that Jadon Sancho will be sold this summer, so pretty high return on that one there as well. Makes work easier with something to watch, says Ben. There we go. Thanks for joining, Ben. I hope you're not working too hard. By the looks of things, you're not. But yeah, happy days, happy days. Now we're going to talk about Manuel Ugarte, guys. Updates coming in today again that Ugarte is waiting for the green light to travel to Manchester after being dropped by Paris Saint-Germain's match day squad again. They're playing. Is it tomorrow? I think they're playing. Regardless of when they are, he will not be involved in PSG in their upcoming fixtures. The manager of PSG, whatever his name is, I can't remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can see his face. Luis Enrique has basically come out and said he's not part of the plans. And yeah, Ugarte wants Manchester United and Manchester United only. We're getting the same kind of updates for the last 4 days, I would say, maybe. From the likes of Fabrizio Romano and anyone else that's updating us on it, any credible source has been saying the same thing. We're kind of at that standpoint now where I think both clubs are working desperately in the background to get a deal done, and whether it be a loan with an obligation to buy, whether it would be, an outright sale. I think United and PSG are negotiating a price more than anything else. We heard the other night that it's €60 million, £51 million. United were looking to get him closer to maybe £42, £43 million. But I think that, given the fact that we definitely do need reinforcements into that midfield, I think it's probably going to push United to come up a little bit in terms of what they're willing to pay. Now, you also have to say on side by side to that, is that PSG are desperate to get rid of him as well. So are they going to bring the price down a little bit? I think we could see this go all the way to transfer deadline day, if I'm being 100% honest. I would love nothing more than, was it, I think we've got Here We Go's, has it been a Saturday for, I think we got a Here We Go on a Saturday for Euro, and I think we got it on a Saturday for De Ligt and Mazraoui as well. So you never know, maybe tomorrow is going to be the day that we get it again for Ugarte. I would love that, because it would mean strong possibility we're getting him in for the Liverpool game. Now, will he start? Will he play in the Liverpool game? Probably not. Even if he is available, chances are he would probably be on the bench. Reason for that is that he's been left out of the PSG squad for so long now. He's been training on his own. It's probably going to take him a couple of weeks to get up to speed. And the last team you want to be putting him in against first time is Liverpool. But the sooner we can get the job done, the better. And sooner we can get him in, the better. Absolutely, 100%. Ben is saying in the chat here, any date on the quiz. I'm going to be doing the quiz either next Monday or either next Tuesday or next Wednesday, either one of them days. For anybody who doesn't know, guys, the Manchester United live quiz, the first episode of it is coming up, the first live on either Tuesday or Wednesday next week. You have to be an official channel member. It's not for regular subscribers. It's extra content for our channel members. We're going to be doing one a month between now and the end of the season. So make sure, if that's something you do want to get involved in, link is in the description of the video to join as an official channel member, or just click the join button under the video. But yeah, Manuel Ugarte, I think is I'm 90% now that he's going to be a Manchester United player. It's just under what circumstances we're going to sign him. whether it be a permanent deal or whether it be a loan with an obligation to buy. I'm not a big fan of the loan with the obligation to buy, to be quite honest with you, because it looks like PSG are saying, you know, you don't have to pay us now, you can pay us next year, but we want that 60 million. And United are going, I'd say one of the main reasons why United wanted the price down around the 42 million pounds rather than the 51, 52 that PSG are looking for is because of FFP and PSR. And I think if we do the loan with the obligation to buy, I don't think we will be as required to sell a player to cover the price of Ugarte, to be honest with you. I do think we're going to be still looking to get players off the books. We'll talk about one of them in particular in a moment, but Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United looks like it's going to get done relatively quick, and obviously we know the transfer window is closing. Is it this day next week, I think? Is it? No, sorry, Saturday night. Saturday is deadline day next week. So yeah, I do think Ugarte to Manchester United is going to get done in the next few days, which I'm really happy about. Let's see what people are saying here in the chat. Who else have we got coming in? Aaron is there. He says, good to see the channel expanding and Chris filling in. Yeah, delighted Chris is up to do it. And look, I mean, down the line, there are going to be games throughout the season that I won't be able to do. So we look at maybe expanding that out a little bit. We could do something where we have multiple maybe channel members to come on and do the watch along and all do it together is something that we can do down the line if I'm not available 100%. So make sure you're joining as a channel member, guys. Let's see. PSG are playing now, says Dylan. Rocky says, I don't think players that spend their time off Twitch and other stream services are exactly very ambitious. It might be the old age in me talking. Well, there you go. There you go. Dylan says PSG 5-1. Ugarte missing out. Fuck PSG. United will always be bigger. Of course they will always be bigger. Of course they will. Vincent says, who else do we need? I think we're making great signings currently. We will do well this season. Winning team, this correct score tomorrow, 3-2 to United. Yeah, look, I mean, I think if we get Ugarte in, I think that will probably be it for us. Unless there's a late bid for maybe another striker or maybe a left back. But I think if we get Ugarte in, I think it'll be a very good transfer window for us. I really do. Box says, are you worried about the depth if Sancho departs along with Martial, Pellistri and Greenwood? I'm not, to be honest with you, Box. The reason I say that is we've obviously got Rashford, we've got Garnacho, we've got Ahmad, we've got Anthony as well that can play there. Obviously, he would be probably last in the pecking order. We also know that Xerxes can play anywhere across the front line as well and has done. So he's obviously more comfortable playing through the middle, but he has played on the right and left forward positions so far in his career at various stages. So yeah, look, I mean, I think we'll be okay. I really do. And look, if Ten Hag needs to go in for backup for a guy to sit in the bench, I'm sure he can come and pluck an academy player and bring him in, because we're certainly producing some good academy players at the moment. Danny says it's going to be a loan with an obligation to buy for 60 million. This is good business for Ineos. I'd have loved to buy him permanently, but a loan is still good if he still comes anyway. Well, I think a loan with an obligation to buy for Ugarte is actually a very smart move, as long as the price remains the same. If we were going to be buying him permanently now, I think it takes a lot of the pressure off of United in terms of FFP and PSR, and it would mean there's not as much pressure on us in January to actually sell players. And I think United are actually backing themselves to get players off of the books in January as well. I think we've sold 13 players this summer. Now, a lot of them have been academy and fringe players, but Ineos are not wasting time. They're clearing house. If you're not good enough, bosh, out the door, let's go. And I think they're backing themselves to do that in January as well, to stay in line with FFP and PSR. Whilst we don't pay over 55 million for Ugarte, we're sorted, says Dylan. Rocky says, you must be... What? I don't know what that means. Dylan says, what's the quiz about? So the quiz is... It's for members only. So if you want to become an official channel member, you can join below. It's extra content for them, and it's an extra live. So we've got the Ultimate Manchester United quiz book, and we're going to be doing different types of quizzes every month. It's live, so I'll have all of the questions on screen. You get your answers in, and then, you know, we'll tot up the scores at the end. And we're going to be doing one every month. Now, the first quiz is the early years, so we're going to be going from the foundations of the club, when it was formed, so on, right the way up to when Sir Alex Ferguson took over as manager. So we're going to be going through the Matt Busby era, the Champions League, the European Cups, so on and so forth. I think we've got 20 questions, and yeah, and then each new episode of the quiz is going to be on a different topic. We might do one on FA Cups. We're going to do one on Champions Leagues, one on, you know, the Premier Leagues. I'm working already on a career path quiz as well, where I'll give you, you know, 3 or 4 different teams, and you tell me what player has gone from each team, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's an extra bit of content coming for the members. So if it's something you want to get involved in, join below. Patrick says Harry Maguire out injured. Would say De Ligt will start the game tomorrow. Is he out injured? I didn't hear that, Patrick. It's the first I've heard of it. Reece says it's looking like it's going to be 60 million loan with obligation to buy. Let's see, what else have we got? Have the Glazers lost all control of transfers? Yes. Ineos and Jim Ratcliffe are in control of the football side of the club. Now, I think Joel Glazer is still on the committee, the deciding committee, but yeah, I mean, he's only one person and he hasn't really got a clue what he's talking about, to be honest. We need a new attacker if Sancho goes, says Box. Can we swap for Sancho, says the special one? Well, it's been something that's been talked about quite a lot, special one, over the summer. And, you know, look, swap deals are very, very difficult to do. Look at Napoli, for example, with Chelsea at the moment. It looks like Lukaku was going from Chelsea to Napoli for 30 million, by the way. I mean, how that lad is still garnishing these big fees, I don't know. But Chelsea are wanting Osimhen the other way. But it's not as easy as just, right, what's Osimhen? 100 million. Okay, well, we'll give you 70 and Lukaku. It's not that easy because agent fees and negotiating and personal terms and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, I think any deal is going to be separate. And PSG have moved away from Jadon Sancho anyway. It looks like it's going to be Juventus that are leading the race. Box says we need a new centre midfielder on top of Ugarte if McTominay goes as well. Can't rely on Ericsson and Mabry. Well, Hannibal is gone. Or he's close to leaving. I think we'll be okay in midfield. We've got Ugarte, Casemiro, Collier, Ericsson, Mount, Bruno, Manu. I mean, that's 7 players to play in 3 positions. So, yeah, I think we'll be okay. Hope we have Ugarte before we play them Scousers, says Dylan. He also says, I have some great feeling about this season. 21 is on the way. Let's not get carried away. Small steps. Ben says, that white jersey behind you is a proper 10 out of 10. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's absolutely unbelievable. It's my favourite Manchester United jersey, I think, ever. Especially, definitely away jersey. It's up there with my favourite ever. Hilburn says, I think we are making good signings this season. I would love to close on the PSG player. Yeah, I think it'll get done next week. I really do. Dylan says, Greenwood looks like on fire at Marseille. We might have made a mistake. We did not make a mistake, Dylan. All right, and it's the last time I'm ever going to say this. Morals are more important than goals. Simple as that. Sanjay is in, says, good evening everyone, good to see you, Sanjay. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're enjoying your evening or your morning or your afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. Following the platform from the Caribbean islands, Dominica, says Hilvern. I appreciate it, my man. Thanks for joining. Hope the weather is nicer where you are than it is here, because it's raining here all day. But thanks for joining. D is in. He says loan and then buy him next summer, and needs to be written into the agreement that his price needs to remain as is right now. There you go. I'm going to drop a 0 out of 20 in the quiz, says Ben. Busby era, any personal questions I'd ask his cousin. There you go. All right, happy days. Let's see. Vincent says Pellistri should stay at all costs. Well, he's already gone. This kid is going to be a super player. He needs more play time and he will be a legend. Well, he won't get it at Manchester United. I think he is going to get it at Panathinaikos, where he's going, and we do have a buyback option on him. So we have the option to buy him back before anybody else, and we do have a sell-on clause as well. So I think we're well covered, to be honest. Danny says, I can't make the watch along tomorrow. I'm off in France for 3 nights. Enjoy, man. No problem. Don't worry. I could be wrong about Harry Maguire because he came off limping last Friday. No, Maguire's okay. Patrick. Let's see. The home 19 out of 20, 1920 is my favourite jersey. Next time someone brings up Greenwood, it should be put in the naughty step for 5. I know. Look, people are entitled to their opinions. Right, I want to move it on, guys, and let's talk about Scotty Too Hotty. One part of Too Cool. For any of the 90s kids will remember Scotty Too Hotty and Grandmaster Sexy, WWF, the Attitude Era. Putting on the sunglasses. And then Rikishi in the middle. Anyway, sorry, bit of nostalgia there. Scott McTominay is desperate to join Napoli. The Manchester United are standing firm on their asking price. After strengthening at the back, Manchester United are currently focused on improving their midfield, but a deal for Manuel Ugarte has been hard to get over the line. Yeah, we don't need to know about that. What have we got? Let's see. Where did I see it? Okay. As per that report, the United Academy graduate would love to train under Antonio Conte, but the Serie A side simply do not have the cash required to land the Scotland international. United want 30 million guaranteed to let the 27-year-old go, and until Victor Osimhen's sale is realised, the 22-23 league winners will not be able to afford McTominay an exit route out of Old Trafford. Napoli were convinced they could easily get Scott McTominay, the Scottish midfielder who's dying to play for Antonio Conte. Manchester United do not share the same opinion, and in order to let McTominay go, they're asking for a figure that is out of Napoli's reach, 30 million euros. So, what's stopping this whole deal? Basically, like we read there, is that Napoli don't really have the funds to get this over the line, and they're spending 30 million on. We just mentioned him on Romelu Lukaku. Victor Osimhen is they found it very hard to get him off the books at Napoli because they're looking for so much money for him. They're talking 100 million and clubs are not willing to pay it. I think Chelsea are the only team really interested in Osimhen, and that it would take a monumental amount of negotiating to get that deal done between this time next week, between now and the end of next week before the deadline closes. So look, I mean, Scott McTominay is a player that, you know, I've said for a number of years now, is a player we should be moving on. And, you know, and United are well within their rights and are right, in my opinion, to stick to their 30 million asking price. Because, you know, you look at, was it Harry Winks or somebody like that from Spurs went for 25 million. I think Scott McTominay is a better player. So I think, you know, 30 million is a relatively fair asking price, given, you know, the season that McTominay had last year. So, you know, I go back to what I've saying. You know, if Scott McTominay stays and he's a backup at Manchester United, I'd be really happy with that. He's not on massive money. The only reason I think we should be moving him on is because I don't think his value is going to increase anymore. You know, he had a really good season last year, and will we get 30 million for him this time next year? I don't think so. I would doubt he will get the same game time. He'll get less game time if everybody stays fit, to be honest with you. And that means he's not going to have as good a season as he did the one just gone. And he's also got a year less left on his deal then, which means, you know, he's going to be cheaper. So Scott McTominay, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? I'm 50-50 at the moment. I'm not. I'm 40. I'm 4 out of 10 that he's going to leave Manchester United. So 10 being he's definitely going to go, and 1 being he won't. I'm about a 4 at the moment that he'll leave. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Rikishi, you were a fan. Rikishi body popping in the middle. Yeah, what was the move where he just got him in and just stuck his arse in their face? Was it a Faymaster or something? Oh no, that was a Faymaster was Billy Gunn's move, wasn't it? I don't know, whatever it was. R.I.P. Rikishi. Yeah, he passed away, did he? A couple of years ago, was it? Or something like that. Why don't we loan with obligations to buy for Scotty? Well, I don't know. It's a good question, Dylan. I don't know. I think the obligation to buy part is what puts off a lot of clubs, because, you know, you're taking a massive chance. So yeah, I think and maybe United are just sticking. Look, we're only going to let him go if it's on a permanent deal. If we can get 30 mil for Scott McTominay, I'd be taking the arm off of Napoli. D says after his performance last week, I wouldn't mind seeing Harry start tomorrow. The guy's come onto a solid game. Yeah, look, I mean, go check out my match preview, guys. We uploaded it yesterday. If you haven't watched it, go and check it out as soon as we're finished here. Now we're going to do another maybe 5 minutes or so here. Go check out the match preview video. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a toss of a coin between Harry Maguire and De Ligt, I have to say. I drive him to Naples for that, says Ben. What was it? 10 goals for a CDM man. That's impressed for the club like Napoli. Well, he's not a CDM. That's the thing. He was a striker. The only reason he ever played in CDM was because Jose Mourinho came in and went, "You're 6'5", you'll do." But he's actually a number 10 or a number 8 maybe. Does Inter still owe Manchester United money for Lukaku? Don't really know that, to be honest, Patrick. Anyone see anything about Eriksen going back to Ajax for 5 million? Yeah, we spoke about it last week. I don't reckon we can shift him this summer, says D. I'd say keep him and bolster the midfield a bit more for a year. Sell him next summer window and all profit. There we go. Real quick one, guys, on a new signing for Manchester United. Well, a potential new signing is going to get done next week. Sekou Kone, I think is how you pronounce it. Medical set for next week as Manchester United win the race for promising defensive midfielder. He's 18 years of age, I think. This guy has been tipped to be the next, well, not the next, but a very, very, very good up-and-coming CDM. Looking at some clips on him today on YouTube. Big chap. Looks like a big presence in midfield, well able to tackle, has a really good pass on him as well. And again, we spoke about Ineos, didn't we? And what we wanted to see from Ineos. We wanted to see getting players in under the radar that nobody knows about. Well, not that nobody knows about, but say that the layman like us don't know about, that, and turn them into absolute superstars. And this guy certainly has the potential to be one of them players. And you know it's good when Manchester United beat off competition from Chelsea, Barcelona and Bayern Munich to land this player. But other than that, don't know an awful lot about him. But obviously we'll keep a close eye on him. He's going to go straight into the under-21 squad and play with them. But I wouldn't be surprised if we've seen this guy get some game time for Manchester United this season, given the promising prospect that he is. So yeah, happy days. Young Mali midfielder, says D. He's a big fella and got an aura, doesn't lose a lot of those 50-50s, and he's not slow to the second ball. Danny says it's always good to see us signing good young players. From what I've seen of him, he will go on to be a good player, good business. Dylan says we're sorting out the future, this Kone guy and Cheetah Obi Martin as well. Yeah, that deal still has to be finalised. Cheetah Obi Martin as well. I don't think that's actually completely confirmed yet. I hate stats. I actually despise stats. Stats don't mean mud, says D. I actually like stats, to be honest with you. I like looking into stats. It doesn't mean everything. I like the XG stat, for example, and how it coincides with how the game actually goes. I don't mind stats, to be honest with you, but it doesn't take away. I wouldn't be putting stats ahead of the eye test. Absolutely not. Could Kone be the next Manu, says Dylan? Well, different type of player, to be quite honest with you. More of a CDM, where Manu is maybe a number 8. Yeah, and finally, guys, I do want to finish up on Manchester United selling another academy player, and this is Will Fish. He goes to, where is he going to? He's going to Cardiff City in a deal worth $3 million. It's a £1 million fixed fee that could potentially rise up to $3 to $4 million. And again, instantly, I went straight onto Twitter to look at the the naysayers, and basically, I was saying, again, United are shite at selling and so on and so forth. Let's get realistic here. This guy is never going to be good enough for Manchester United. Put in some decent pre-season performances for United this year, between this year and last year. But the most important thing is that we're covering our assets here, and we're getting these big sell-on clauses inserted into all of our academy players leaving, which is quite good, because if they do go on and do well, you're going to get a good sell-on clause. If they don't do well and they stagnate, then everybody says, well, you were right to get rid of them. You know what I mean? So I think we're protecting our assets there. So wish Will Fish all the best in his future career. Hope he does really, really well. Once a red, always a red. So, yeah, there we go. Happy days. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. It's Friday night. Go off and have a beer, get a takeaway, whatever you're doing. Watch a movie. I do appreciate you all watching. Like I said, make sure you're joining us for the watch along tomorrow. Chris from Florida in the US is going to be doing the watch along for me, because I'm not around to do it. I will be keeping an eye on it. I'm minding my two kids. I'll literally be, I do all the watch alongs here in the front room. I'll literally be in the sitting room just playing with the kids, and the game will be on the TV, so I won't be too far away, and I'll be jumping into the chat as well. So make sure you are watching us live tomorrow. I won't be on screen. Chris will be doing it for us. Make sure you give all the love and all the support into the chat for Chris tomorrow. It's the first time he's been on all of the match reaction videos with us, but this is the first time he's going to be on his own. So make sure you get the chat going. Keep it as lively as possible. And I do appreciate you all watching as always, guys. But please do smash a like on the video if you haven't done so already before you leave. It's right down there. Look, it's free to do. Just thumbs up. Appreciate it. And do hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel as well, guys. I will be back on Monday. Actually, no. I'll be back on Sunday with the Talking Points video. So keep an eye out for that. Turn on notifications. That'll be going up on Sunday. All the Talking Points from the game tomorrow. But yeah, make sure you join Chris tomorrow. All the support. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll chat to you down the road. Have a good one.